Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to program Insight in Way News English. Dear viewers, in today's conversation, we will discuss the latest situation in Middle East. War clouds are hovering over Middle East in the presence of the U.S. Aircraft carrier. There are statements, provocative and threatening statements being made from American side and from Iranian side. And the latest development is being neighbor of Iran. Pakistan's Prime Minister, Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, spoke with Iranian President short while ago. Both sides discussed latest situation. And earlier in the day, Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Dar, also spoke with Iranian Foreign Minister. Where the situation is heading, what are the objectives of the U.S. possible attack on Iran, what America wanted to achieve after carrying out these possible attacks against Iran, and other related issues and subjects. We are fortunate to have with us Senior Strategic Affairs Analyst, Dr. Syed Muhammad Ali Saab. Very warm welcome to program Insight in Way News English. So what America wanted to achieve through this massive military buildup and subsequently, as I said, there could be possibility of direct attack on Iran. What America wanted to get out of this?
Thank you for having me on your show. Mateen Saab, I think it is very important to recognize that in the last 46 years, the US has three major concerns from Iran. Firstly, its nuclear program. Secondly, its missile program. And thirdly, its support for militant organizations throughout the Middle East. And I believe that the current aggressive posturing of US armed forces, particularly the forward deployment of its carrier battle group led by USS Abraham Lincoln, escorted by a number of destroyers, cruisers, and nuclear-powered submarines, is a strategy to pressurize and remind Iran that in the last few years, Iran has been strategically isolated in the region because of the fall of Bashar government in Syria, and also a significant damage suffered by Hezbollah, Houthis, as well as Hamas.
Was killed, exactly.
So Iran, frankly speaking, in terms of military capability, is on its own. So at this time, this pressure is being applied to force Tehran that it must review the commitment toward its nuclear program, stop its missile program, and also stop support for militant organizations in the Middle East. However, I don't think Iran is likely to yield. But I must highlight that, as you rightly pointed out in your introduction, that Pakistan has a very critical role
to play
in crisis management as a trustworthy partner to build peace and maintain stability in the region in order to assure Iran that diplomacy, as Foreign Office has reported, is the best way to resolve all differences and disputes.
If Iran is attacked, so please explain and analyze what type of this attack would be on Iran. It will be, as you were mentioning, that Iran has massive missiles and nukes and these all things. So is this attack will be on military sides, on the government side, that means presidential palace, parliament house? What type of attack would be?
I think first off, I would like to share with you that why this attack seems likely. There are 3-4 clear indications. Number one, in the last few days, you remember that US and most key US allies, including Britain, France, Australia, ordered their diplomats and nationals to leave Iran. So they knew something was in advance. Secondly, most important Western airlines also stopped flying to Iran, and also some of the key capitals in the Middle East. That is the second worrying sign. The third worrying sign was the assurance given by the Saudi and UAE leadership to Iran that our bases and airspace will not be used in any attack on Iran. So why do you think these Arab countries needed to assure Iran? Because this was a message to Iran that in case of a US attack, Iran should not retaliate on US bases and investments in the Arab countries. So this was sort of preventive diplomacy on behalf of these Arab countries. So these are the three very clear and worrying signs. And fourth is the Western media has given extensive coverage to the high number of casualties in the recent protests. And the fifth most important and worrying sign was the recently passed resolution at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, which condemned and expressed concern at the human rights situation in Iran. So when you add it all up, it seems that a case is being built up to justify a military action against Iran, which could be presented as support of the human rights and providing some assistance to the anti-government forces in Iran. However, on the other side, I think despite these risks, Iran has a very strong political system. It is suffering from a lot of economic challenges. That's true. Today, the Irani rial, is equal to 1.5 million Irani rial is equal to $1
American
so
dollar.
the life is unaffordable there due to the Western sanctions. But this is also a reality that there is no popular, effective and important figure or political organization
that could replace.
that is available in Iran to replace the current government. So, although the son of the former Shah of Iran is trying to increase his political status, but he does not have a lot of following and support inside Iran. So, these are political dynamics. So, when you come to the specific issue of the likely targets, I think there are four types of targets which are likely to be on the table of Mr. Trump for approval. Number one, definitely the ideological leadership of Iran. And secondly, those organizations, particularly the headquarters of Pasdaran Inqilab could be one, because an attack on that would be presented by the Western media as support to the anti-government forces.
True.
But two more targets could be the ballistic missile sites and their launch pads, so that it could reduce, this is called in the missile warfare called damage limitation strategy. So it is possible that a lot of their missile storage sites and launch pads could be targeted to ensure that Iran's ability to retaliate through large number of missile barrages is reduced. So that is the third aspect. And the fourth aspect is obviously the nuclear program. So I think these are the four possible targets which I think the US leadership is considering. And I must clarify that in order to attack these targets, US does not need support from the Arab countries. It does not need these air bases for two specific reasons. In the last attack as well, in June last year, you would remember the main spearhead of this attack was the B-2 bombers, which are based at Whitman Air Base in the US, but they can be quickly deployed at Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. And they have a very long range, and they can be refueled mid-air during flight, and they do not need to be
Any other base.
and America, because of the sensitive technology, do not deploy B-2s at any non-US bases as a policy. So even at the NATO allies, they are not deployed. They are deployed in Whitman Air Base in the US or Diego Garcia in Indian Ocean. And secondly, the Indian and the US Naval Task Force, the Carrier Battle Group, it is armed with more than 1,000 Tomahawk cruise missiles, which could be used against the ballistic missile launch sites and storage sites, which are deployed close to Oman right now in the Arabian Sea. And they also have 2 nuclear-powered submarines, which are carrying more than 150 Tomahawk cruise missiles each. So
150.
right now, within a few minutes, US can launch up to 1,200 cruise missiles on Iranian missile sites and ballistic missile storage sites and launch pads, followed by some surgical strikes from F-35 fighters, which are also deployed on USS Abraham Lincoln. And since B-2 and F-35 are stealth technology, so they cannot be detected by the Iranian air defense system, their missile systems, and their radars. So the ability of Iran to defend itself against such attack is very remote. And I think their ability to retaliate against US bases, I think also needs to be, evaluated.
Iranian political system is strong and deep-rooted, and it's not possible. So, keeping in view this analysis, if the American military strikes are carried out mainly for the regime change, then how through military strikes do you think the regime could be changed?
That's a very important question, Mateen Saab. I think there are 2 schools of thought in the US establishment about how to deal with Iran. The intelligence and diplomatic community believes that removal of the current ideological leadership,
Spiritual leader, supreme leader, exactly,
could bring in an alternative. And they understand this will not change the government, it will not change the regime, it will not change the political system, but it will change the current leadership. So they hope that the next leader may be slightly softer towards the West. He could be less ambitious in terms of Iran's nuclear and missile program, and could be less aggressive in supporting the militant organizations throughout the Middle East. So that is the sort of conservative school of thought. The more ambitious and I would say hardline school of thought, close to Israel and Jewish lobby, believes that elimination on change of their ideological leadership may not change the political system, but it will not change the regime, but it will create a chaos in Iran,
in the country,
which does not bother the West. They have created chaos in Syria. They have created chaos in Afghanistan, in Iraq. So one,
Sudan, in
among
Libya.
57 countries, one more Muslim country would be in chaos. So that doesn't bother the West. They are not bothered about Iran's stability. But what they are bothered about is an Iran which has a leadership and a policy which supports the militant organizations which are active against US and Israel, and they are worried about its Iran nuclear ambitions and its growing missile capability. So if these capabilities are neutralized and the leadership is changed, I think this will still be seen as an achievement by President Trump, which he could use for his midterm election, as that he is the first and only US president in last 46 years who had the courage to attack Iran twice and change its leadership.
How you see in the current situation role of Moscow and Beijing? Both used to be China enjoys close trade ties and Russia enjoys close strategic cooperation and ties with Iran.
I think first let me comment that I don't see any similarity between Venezuela and Iran. Venezuela, it was a different option, and they've changed the regime there. In Iran, that is not possible. Iran has a system. Iran has a very deeply rooted system led by their clergy. Even if you remove an individual, it will not change the system. Secondly, it is true that both China and Russia are close to Iran. They have close defense cooperation. They have close diplomatic convergences.
True.
And they also have close economic and energy cooperation. Iran is a major energy supplier to China as well. And also let me recognize that most of the defense equipment of their army, air force and navy is of Russian and Chinese origin. So Iran is likely to continue to receive Chinese and Russian military hardware. But that does not, and it also enjoys their diplomatic support at multilateral forums like United Nations.
True.
And Iran's nuclear program was actively supported and advanced by Russia. It is based on Russian technology. So I think that is likely to continue. However, it would be unrealistic to expect that Russia or China would do anything beyond providing it some arms or condemning any attack on it diplomatically at United Nations. I do not expect Iran to receive any, support in terms of boots on the ground or personnel. Iran is a close partner of Russia and China, but not an ally.
Not an ally. Iranian leadership has made it clear that they will retaliate. Please share with us what are the military options available with Iran?
I think that's a very important question. The diplomacy which we have witnessed in the last few days, which involves number of neighboring and regional countries trying to assure the Iranian leadership that their territory or airspace will not be used for this attack, makes me worried for two accounts. This means two things. This means that these countries are aware that such an attack is likely. Otherwise, they don't need to assure Iran. And secondly, this diplomacy constrains Iran's response options. Because when these countries, including those which have American bases, sort of deprive Iran from retaliating against US bases. And if US relies on these countries or uses their airspace, then it will complicate the escalation dynamics, because this will enable Iran to justify attacking the US bases in the Middle East. But if these countries have assured Iran that their bases and airspace will not be used by America or Israel in an attack on Iran, then Iran will find it very difficult to justify its retaliation against US bases in those countries which were not involved in facilitating the attack. And that creates a huge strategic dilemma for Iran, because Iran does not have the capability to directly attack or threaten the US mainland like Iran faces. So the only legitimate target that Iran's conventional capability, its missile forces can target, is basically the US Navy and the US naval fleet present in the Gulf. And I think they are aware of this risk. That is why they are deployed not very close to Iranian shores, and they are close to the Omani coast, which makes the targeting a bit difficult, but not very difficult. So the main target in case of retaliation could be 4 types of capability Iran can use missiles in retaliating against US naval forces. It's cruise missiles. They have hypersonic cruise missiles as well, which are very difficult to defeat from the missile defense systems, including the Aegis system, which is deployed on the US destroyers and cruisers, which are defending the US aircraft carrier. The second force which Iran can use is a large swarm of its drones. They have mastered, and they have been exporting drones to Russia as well, which are being used in Ukraine
war.
So they can consider a large-scale drone swarm to saturate the air defense system of US carrier battle group in order for their anti-missile and anti-drone aircraft missiles to be wasted. And that can allow their hypersonic cruise missiles to penetrate the air defense system of the carrier battle group. The third element that they have a capable but small fleet of conventionally armed submarines as well.
Iranian Navy.
Yes. And I believe they must be deployed right now. So they can also try, attacks against, try to torpedo the US submarines as well as surface fleet from subsurface. That is the third element. The fourth element is obviously the militant organizations throughout Middle East. Whether it is in Iraq, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen, which can sort of react in their own way to augment the Iranian retaliation. So I think that is how I see the specter of conflict emerging. But I think most countries in this region are trying to assure Iran that it is you are on your own, and you are going to face in US on your own, and they are trying to distance themselves from both US and Iran so that the escalation does not spill over into their territory and airspace.
Lastly, I would like to seek your comment, as you said that diplomacy and negotiation is in the next 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever are the next 2-3 critical days. Can, through diplomacy, United States and Iran can talk to each other, although the Iran has made it clear that it will participate in any such negotiation where there is win-win for both parties?
I think every minute and every hour is critical. And as President Trump has warned that he wants to give diplomacy a chance. But by that he means some concession, some tangible and
Iranian
timely olive branch from Tehran that it wants to climb down from the hostile rhetoric and perhaps have a less aggressive posture, both diplomatically and militarily, in terms of support for militant organizations, in terms of its nuclear program, and in terms of its missile capability. But if Iran does not review these policies, then I think the chances of US attack in the next couple of days are very high.
Thank you so much indeed, Dr. Syed Mohammad Ali Saab, Senior Strategic Affairs Analyst, for your very insightful discussion, analysis on the war clouds hovering over Middle East, escalation in the Middle East between Iran and United States, and perspective of different countries and situation. That would be very informative and useful for our viewers, despite your busy schedule. You participated in our program. Once again, thank you so much. And dear viewers, till our next program, goodbye and Khuda Hafiz.